Tonight, new developments in a violent confrontation inside an Asian-owned beauty supply store. A grand jury believes the attack was motivated by race.
So now the woman charged with assault in this case has what's called a hate crime enhancement. That means Keandra Young could face tougher penalties if she's convicted. And we want to remind you, video of the attack, hard to watch. Here's Grace White.
It was an attack caught on camera, an attack Sun Jun Lee wishes he could put behind him.
After it happened, a lot of customers, they come to us and they give us a hug and they pray for us.
At his parents' uptown beauty supply store on Kirkendall in North Houston, his mom was punched in the face.
You Asian, Chinese, whose time here?
But it's what she and her son told KHOU 11 was said during that attack last month that is now getting new attention.
Asian people should be in the black market. We're not selling wigs.
Today, a grand jury indicted 24-year-old Keandra Young for assault with a hate crime enhancement.
So intent's formed in a second, as prosecutors would tell you. And so in this case, again, her words alone tell us what her motivation was.
KHOU 11 legal analyst Carmen Rowe says hate crime enhancements mean tougher penalties, a minimum 6 months behind bars, compared to a misdemeanor where someone could walk away with no jail time.
What weight does the grand jury carry?
So a grand jury indictment in any case is important because it means that we had 12 citizens who decided that a charge was appropriate, but it's a very low standard. It means nothing more than that there was probable cause to believe that a person committed a crime, and in this case, a hate crime.
The other woman charged in this case does not have a hate crime enhancement. We tried reaching both women tonight, but did not hear back. Lynn and Mia.